Hang on,
Okay,
we didn't forget about you.
Okay, it is 2 o'clock.
All right, it's 2:00.
2 o'clock. Time have you arrived? I call this meeting to order. It's April 21st, 2022 at 2 p.m. Please note that the Brockton Housing Authority meetings are all recorded. The agenda has been posted and passed out. Chairman Timothy J. Sullivan, Vice Chair Ernest Pettiford, Member Janet R. Trask, Treasurer Carol Roberts. I'm going to do a quick roll call for quorum. Tim Sullivan is here. Ernest Pettiford here. Janet Trask is on the way. Carol Roberts,
here,
we have a quorum. You are hereby given notice that the members of the Brockton Housing Authority are called to a meeting in the regular session on Thursday, April 28, 2022 at 2 p.m. in the Carpenter Executive Boardroom, Manning Tower, 45 Gordon Road, first floor, Brockton, Mass. 02301. This meeting/hearing of the Brockton Housing Authority will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and our participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting/hearing will not be suspended or terminated if a technological problem erupts the virtual broadcast, unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in a specific item on the agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. I just wanted to read off the Governor Baker COVID-19 memo. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and state of emergency, on March 12, 2020, Governor Charlie Baker issued an executive order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Laws, Chapter 38, Section 20. Pursuant to the order, public bodies are temporarily relieved from the open meeting law requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate and alternative means. This notice was extended to April 1st, 2021, and then re-extended to July 1st, 2022. Item 1. What happens if it's moved to the back and take on?
Oh, shoot. See, I told you.
So we got all rise for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 1, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts,
here,
Commissioner Pettiford,
Here.
Mr. Chairman,
Here.
I do not see Commissioner Trask here as of yet.
Item 2, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of March 24th, 2022. Exhibit A in your packets, Mr. Tebow.
I've had the opportunity to review the minutes. I found them to be in order, and I would recommend that they be approved as written.
We need a motion, item 2.
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettiford, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of March 24th, 2022 as written. Roll call, Mr. Tebow. Any questions or discussion on the motion?
no,
Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
yes,
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 3, hearing of visitors. Are there any hearing of visitors?
There are no visitors who have signed in, Mr. Chairman.
I'll just read this off for the public. Any member of the public is invited to speak before the board. Visitors wishing to be heard will be allowed 3 minutes to speak on each subject. The board will take any issue under advisement and respond at a later date. Total time for visitors will be limited to 15 minutes. Hearing them, we go straight to. Item 4, correspondence.
There is no correspondence this month, Mr. Chairman.
Hearing none, we move to item 5. Approval of the bills of the regular meeting of April 28, 2022, Exhibit B in your packet. Commissioner Roberts,
okay. I motion to approve the reviewing of the bills. Can you hear me?
yes,
Okay,
a motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat. Motion is to approve the bills of the regular meeting of April 28, 2022 as presented. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
yes,
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 6, acceptance of resignation, Julie DeSantis Rosa, Security Supervisor, Exhibit C in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
Mr. Santos Rosa has given us notice that she will be retiring on May 28, 2022. Julie is known by most. She's known by most of our residents. She is a very unique person, and you can see by her letter. She really loves, has a great spirit, has loved our residents and served us well. I'm wishing her best. She wants to go somewhere warm. She doesn't like the cold.
I just wanted to say that Julie is an excellent person. Julie sadly missed by myself, my wife, and the entire board. She's a great worker.
Well, Julie is plain spoken, and in her letter, she said it's been one hell of a ride.
Need a motion, item 6, from anybody?
did Ernie say something?
Yeah, Ernie seconded. I already made the motion.
Oh, I'll second it then, with regrets.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to accept with regret the resignation of Julie DeSantis Rosa, Security Supervisor, effective May 28, 2022. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
Commissioner Pettifat.
Yes.
Commissioner Sullivan.
Yes. Motion carried. Unanimous. Item 7, acceptance of resignation of Susan Keating, Executive Secretary, Exhibit D in the packet. Mr. Tebow?
Now, this is a difficult one for me. Susan Keating, I'm sorry, this is Commissioner Trask, if I could take it. Yeah. Hi, Commissioner. Yes, Carol.
I didn't hear you.
No, he's on the phone, Cal, with Janet.
Oh, okay.
what I'll do is, Owen, can you hear me? Owen, if you could send Commissioner Trask a link to get into the meeting, please.
I will.
Okay, thank you. Owen's gonna send you another link, okay? Okay. Good. You're welcome. Technology is wonderful. And I appreciate your understanding as we do this hybrid type meeting. But as I said, this is a very difficult retirement for me. On July 2nd, 1990, Mrs. Keating started at the Brockton Housing Authority. It was the same day that I started. There were very few people in my life. In fact, I think, no, Susan, I did know my wife before I did you. Just barely though, who you get to know and work with for that period of time. Susan has worked with 3 executive directors, Mr. Mara, Mr. Sergi, and now myself. She's been instrumental in supporting the boards over the years. Although I know I'm happy for her, I know it's with mixed emotions, and we will miss you, Susan.
Mhm.
I will miss you myself. Too. We need a motion, item 7.
So moved with regrets. And Susan, go on vacation, travel.
Thank you, Commissioner.
One second. Second, okay. A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat. Motion is to accept with regret the resignation of Susan Keating, Executive Secretary, effective July 2nd, 2022. Any questions or discussions on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, people.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
and Commissioner Sullivan.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous.
Get that over with, huh?
Yeah.
It looks like Commissioner Trask is here.
I'm finally, I got on. Sorry.
Hi, Janet.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Janet. Item 8. Review of 2021 Performance Management Review Report, Exhibit D in your packet.
And so once a year, the Department of Housing and Community Development comes out and does a review of the housing authority in many different areas. And I'll touch upon a couple of them. The housing authority has done very well in this review. They look at how we tenanting, and our occupancy rates are very good. Our tenant accounts receivable are very good. Our work order systems are very good. They went through that with Mr. Christopher and his board. The board member training, very good. Everybody's up to speed and compliant there. All the reporting that's supposed to be done, Susan does, Tramita does, myself, the finance department. The one area that we got operational guidance on was reserves. Our reserves were at 28% of what we spend every year. So that means we could go probably for 3 months if we did not receive any rent or any money from the HCD. They would like to have us at 35%. It's an artificial issue because we are required by the state to spend the money that we do. We're required to pay the wages that we do. We're required to have the insurances that we do. In fact, they buy our insurance for us and then we pay them. It's not unusual for urban housing authorities to be in this situation. And the real issue is that there is not adequate funding to continue to build up a surplus in the state program. Last year, Mr. Christopher and the finance department, myself, worked with the HCD, and they supplemented our budget for vacancy preparation for about $200,000. Well, we're still getting vacancies and we still have to prepare them, and they're still expensive to do. And so we'll be working with them on that. But overall, the operations of the housing authority are very, very good.
We need a motion, item 8. From anybody, for a second.
Second.
We need a motion first, Cal.
Oh, so move.
Second. A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat. Motion is to accept the Brockton Housing Authority 2021 Performance Management Review Report provided by the Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development and put on file. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Pettifat. Yes. And Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 9, appointment of clerk typist, maintenance department, exhibit F in your packet.
If I could ask Mr. Fluff to speak on this, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chivo, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. We had a vacancy in the maintenance department for clerk typist. We had previously advertised and posted for a clerk typist in the asset management department and had interviewed several candidates for that. According to the union contract, we could use the same pool of candidates because it was within 1 year. We interviewed Ms. Marshall with Mr. DeChristopher and his staff. They thought that she would be a great hire. I've enclosed her resume for you. She has worked many, many years in the banking industry at Crescent Credit and at Campbell Cooperative. Is a mature woman who understands computer systems, understands public service, and we think should be a great asset to the maintenance department. She's willing to start right away.
Perfect.
I could add on to that, Joanne has developed a great reputation from her years in banking, as you, Commissioner Sullivan, noted that you remember her from Crescent Credit. Many people have said wonderful things about her. She also has worked in her capacity at the bank, now with staff, with our residents who needed banking services, or in one case, it looked like there was some financial abuse going on, and worked with some of our staff to protect our residents. I want to make sure that you understand mature is in personality, not in years.
We did think.
And Joanne has, I had a chance to meet with her. I know she meets the criteria to do the job, on the computer, talking to our residents. But I also know that she has in her heart care for other human beings, which is very important what we do.
We need a motion, item 9, from anybody. Ernie made the motion. We need a second.
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion is to appoint Joanne Marshall of Brockton to the position of clerk typist effective April 29, 2022, at the step 1 rate of $42,262 per annum. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Pettifat. Yes. And Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Congratulations. I want to give you 1 minute to just explain this to you. Which you already know. We put our residents first, number 1. We try to make it easy for them as much as we can. And we feel, the board feels, we don't have the residents, we don't need you, we don't need me. They are number 1. That's the whole thing. You'll love it.
Again, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Very nice to see people in person too, when you're actually hiring them.
Yeah, that, normally it was done over there. We were all at home.
I know. Well, that's what I thought it was gonna be today, and then Donna called, said Mr. Close said to come in, so, yeah. I'm very happy, thank you.
Just let me throw this up to you, in that I don't even know if you know that I work at the school department, so,
I didn't.
and the teachers can pay like $40,000-$50,000 a year for education for 4 or 5 years, and go on for masters and everything else. But nobody thought of how to teach remote. Shocked everybody.
Yes, it was.
That was after what? But with Tom and Owen and Susan, we made a try.
Yeah. it
We think
was-
we did. We don't.
We did, we did. They're scarlet, but we did.
A little beat up.
Thank you again. Item 10, appointment of maintenance mechanic, exhibit G in the packet. Mr. Tebow.
If I could ask Mr. Bluff to speak on this?
Thank you, Mr. Tebow, members of the board. In November of 2021, we posted internally to fill the position of maintenance mechanic as a promotional position. We received 6 resumes. Mr. DeChristopher and I reviewed the resumes and cover letters. Once we did that, we interviewed. And after the interviews, we recommended last month Dan Smith, and this month Mitch Ballinger to be promoted to maintenance mechanic. Mitch has worked with us for the last 3 years. Before that, he worked at the Situate Housing Authority in a very similar position. He's worked on the vacancy crew. Now he's working in several sites, covering work orders. He has his apprentice plumber's license, which we make use of. He hooks up our gas stoves in our places that have gas stoves, and it saves us about $200 every time, not having to call it a plumber, which is a great thing for us. So we don't have any reservation at this time in recommending Mitch Ballinger of Kingston to be promoted to maintenance mechanic.
We need a motion and a second. So
Second,
was that Janet?
Yes.
A motion's has been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion is to appoint Mitch Bellinger of Kingston to the position of maintenance mechanic effective May 2nd, 2022 at the 2022 step rate of $33.01 per hour. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Pettifat. Yes. And Mr. Sullivan.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous.
I do want to note he's a journeyman, not a.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Congratulations.
yeah,
I know I already talked to you before.
Yes,
I'm gonna say the same thing.
Yep.
Tenants are number one. Without them, we don't need you. Keep it in mind.
absolutely, Mr. Sullivan.
Thank you.
And Mr. Sullivan, if Mr. Ballinger can go back to work, fixing work orders.
Can I be excused?
Yes, you can.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mr. Tebow, Mr. Commissioner, members of the board. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mitch. Have a great day.
Bye, Ernie.
Bye-bye.
Nice guy.
Yes, very nice.
Item 11, award of contract, on-call maintenance, general plumbing repairs, affordable housing program, exhibit H in the packet. Mr. Tebow.
Mr. Foote, can I ask Mr. Foote to speak on this?
Thank you, Mr. Tebow. The Affordable Housing Department, which is our 100 units of scattered site, both ours and SMAC, went out for an on-call plumber. We had a number of firms pick up packets, but only one returned a packet, which was Anania Plumbing, which their price prices are on here. Would ask the board to authorize Mr. Tebow to enter into a contract for 3 years with Anna Nia to do on-call plumbing for the affordable housing department.
We need a motion, item 11. Anybody?
So moved.
A motion that we accept today's proposal.
We need a second. Second. A motion has been made by Commissioner Gina Trask, seconded by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat. Motion is to authorize the Executive Director, Thomas Tebow, to enter into a 3-year contract effective April 1st, 2022 with Antonia Plumbing and Heating Corporation for an on-call maintenance, general plumbing repairs for the affordable housing properties for the rates quoted in the proposal. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts. Commissioner Carroll, you're on mute.
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carried, unanimous. Item 12. Award of contract, legal services, section 18 project, Campello High Rise, exhibit I in the packet. Mr. Tebow.
I think Mr. Barry's gonna get a little jealous here, because this is now the Mr. Fluff show.
No, we want.
If I could ask Mr. Fluff to speak on this, please.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. As you know, the redevelopment of the Campello High Rise is a huge project for the Brockton Housing Authority. And we're working with the Cambridge Housing Authority as our consultant / developer. They helped us put together a request for proposals for attorneys to help us with this project, both in the land use area, and the environmental area, and dealing with HUD on their regulations with regard to the disposition and the award of the Section 8 certificates, in the low-income housing tax credit area, financing, many of the areas that the people here at the Housing Authority do not have expertise. And we put the proposal on the street. We had 4 firms respond, but one responded late, Nixon and Peabody. One of the responses, their main office is in Washington, D.C., that this type of proposal gains the interest of very, very large law firms who have lots of expertise. The firm that was eventually chosen is a firm that has worked with Cambridge for many years. It's a consortium of 2 firms. One is in Washington with a expert in this type of disposition that HUD allows. In fact, he wrote some of the language and was a HUD assistant secretary at the time it was developed. And the Boston firm that's part of the consortium has done many of these types of projects. Cambridge, other housing authorities representing DHCD. And in fact, this firm represented DHCD when we were getting money through the Fireman Project 10 years ago. So they have the expertise to give us the guidance we need to get through this successfully on the other end. And it's going to be very complicated. The legal issues are very complex. And so I think we'll be very good.
I just wanted to say, I didn't realize there were so many different categories of attorneys that specialize in certain things.
Yes. That's
That
right.
was what happened here, the regulars.
The ones we usually use, do a lot of labor negotiations and some contracts, and like that, but this is well beyond. I mean, the stuff I used to do when I had my office 100 years ago, I do divorces and some criminal law and some car accidents. But this is completely different. Completely different.
Thank you. We need a motion, item 12.
So move.
Second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion is to authorize the executive director of the Brockton Housing Authority to enter into a 3-year contract with Nolan G. and Patton of Boston, Mass., together with Hawkins, Delafield, and Wood of Washington, D.C., in accordance with the proposal submitted with regard to providing legal services for the Campbell High Rise Section 18 project. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carried. Unanimous. Item 13, approval of amendment to Section 8 Administrative Plan regarding home ownership program, Exhibit I in your packets. Mr. Tebow.
I'd like to ask Mr. Flood to speak on this also.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow. Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Prior to COVID hitting, Ms. Bonnie and myself were reviewing this Section 8 admin plan, and she had taken a training on the home ownership portion. There are only certain housing authorities in the country that have a home ownership program, which allows you to use your Section 8 certificate to help pay your mortgage as opposed to pay your rent. It's a specialized program, and after Chris did the training, we noticed that our admin plan wasn't as good as it could be. So we decided at that time we'd come before the board to change it. Well, then COVID hit. We didn't get to, we were trying to figure out how to, as you said earlier, Mr. Sullivan, how to operate
Nobody did.
in this atmosphere. And so now Ms. Bonnie has been promoted, and Ms. Bruna Campbell is in a position, she runs the home ownership program, and she's taken the training. Now we can come before the board and put in the, I won't say changes, clarifications to make it better. We added some exhibits to the end, which are the documents the family has to sign. Is that about right, Chris? The types of things, you know, so there's a better understanding of what's going on. So that's where we're at.
Just one correct, that's Exhibit J in the packets. I have an I on mine, but it's Exhibit J. We need a motion and second, item 13.
Okay. So move.
second,
Okay.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat. Motion is to adopt Chapter 15, Part 7, home ownership of the Brockton Housing Authority, Section 8 Administrative Plan as attached, effective April 26, 2022. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Motion carries unanimous. Item 14, award of contract.
Excuse me, Tim, for a moment. Can you guys still see me? Because I've lost all of you.
Yes,
We can see you, yes.
Okay. All right. I can't see anybody in the boardroom.
That's, there you go.
Oh, wait a second. Can you see us now?
Yes, I can.
and I can too now.
The camera must have timed out. I don't know. Welcome to 2022. My apologies to the people coming in from Zoom.
I just wanted to say that it's awful hard to fix a leaky faucet by remote. Vinny, you did it for 2 years.
We need it.
They needed an awful long snake on those toilets.
I'll start over. Carol, can you hear me all right?
Yes,
Item 14, award of contract, on-call maintenance, general electric repairs, affordable housing program, Exhibit K in your packet.
I believe this is one of the last items from Mr. Flo.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. The Affordable Housing Department, which are the 100 scattered site units we have, put out a request for proposals for on-call electricians. 4 companies picked up packets, and RJL was deemed the most advantageous, is highly advantageous. They were the lowest price of the 4 on their hourly out and what their markup was. And we would ask that you authorize the executive director to enter into a contract for 3 years with RJL Electric for on-call repairs, electrical repairs for the scattered site properties.
We need a motion in a second. Item 14. In a second.
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to authorize the executive director, Thomas Tebow, to enter into a 3-year contract effective April 1st, 2022 with RJL Electric Systems Corporation for an on-call maintenance general electric repair for the affordable housing properties for the rates quoted in their proposal. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Pettifat. Yes. And Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carried, unanimous.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, if I could take Ms. Marshall over to the HR department to get her the start of paperwork.
You haven't done your paperwork yet?
No, she wasn't hired yet. We can't do that until the board says yes.
Thank you all so much.
You're welcome.
See you next.
You're welcome to come back. We're still here. Yeah, come back.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Attorney set.
Item 15. Approval of amendment number 1, architect, engineer services, roof replacement and related improvements at Bellaire Tower, project 24-10, exhibit L in your packet. Mr. Tebow.
If I could ask Mr. Barry to speak on this, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Tebow. Brockton Housing had previously went out to bid on the roofing project at Bellaire back in August of 2021. Where we received 9 general bids with a parent low coming in about $150,000 over our estimated budget. And also stating that it's going to be 10 months delay for materials. At that time, we, capital improvements, elected to reject all bids due to the price and wait until the market picked up tomorrow to get them the better terms. That being said, Angelo Architects, Angelo Caracity, I should say, submitted a request for extra services of $3570 for repackaging the construction documents, forming the bidding requirements, which is the site work, site walkthrough, and reviewing of the bids when they came in. We would recommend approving the addendum number 1 to Angelo Caracity. $35,000 for additional services for the rebid of 2410 Bellaire High Rise roof replacement and related.
We need a motion and a second, item 15.
So moved.
Janet got it. Give it to Janet.
And a second. Carol?
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to approve amendment number 1 to Angelo A. Kiriakis, AKA Architect PC, in the amount of $3,570 for additional services for the rebid of the roof replacement and related improvements at Bellaire Tower, project 24-10. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Item 16, award of contract, rebid roof replacement and related improvements, Bellaire Tower, project 24-10. Exhibit M in the packet. Mr. Tebow.
If I could ask Mr. Barrett to speak on this, please.
We are back on March 1st, 2022, capital improvements solicited bids for prime roofing contract for the for Bellaire High Rise roof replacement. Then on March 24th, public online bid opening was held. And 6 bids were received ranging from $776,700 to $1,187,000. Capital improvements reviewed the bids for completeness and references which were received by Angelo A. Kiriakis, the firm representing the authority. The Eden Way Construction Company Incorporated, the apparent no bidder, in the amount of $776,700 was deemed to be responsible. At the review of the bid documents and reference checkbook form, we would recommend an award of contract to Eden Way Construction Company of 31 Perkins Street, Brockton, Mass, in the amount of $776,700 for the rebid roof replacement and related improvements at 2410 Bellaire Highway.
We need a motion and a second, item 16.
So moved.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettiford, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to award a contract in the amount of $776,700 to Leading Way Construction Company Incorporated of Brockton for the rebid roof replacement and related improvements at Bellaire Tower, project 24-10. Any questions or discussion on the motion?
If I could, just for the board, no, this is a much needed repair. We do have leaking at Bellaire. And the maintenance department has been dealing with it for some time now. So we're really looking forward to getting this job done.
I just wanted to say that it's a good idea to wait for all the holdups on the ship coming in, the materials, everything.
Yeah, especially in told right away. It's paying 10 months. We're still about 3 months out of material, but we're getting closer.
I'm hoping that's not the way it is from now on.
No, I hope it's
Wow.
been a long life.
Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettiford,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 17, approval of amendment number 3, architect engineer services.
You all right, Ernie?
Opened up. You got it, Ernie? You need a handle there?
turn this thing off. And we can turn around. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Think you're a little further back, your arm's still up on the table there?
I'll show you fine. Thank you.
I'll start over again because I don't know where I left off. Item 17. Approval of amendment number 3, Architect Engineer Services Comprehensive Modernization, Phase 3C, Caffrey Towers, Project 24-7. Exhibit N in your packet. Mr. Tebow.
If I could ask Mr. Barry to speak on this item, please.
And the waterproofing contractor on phase 3C became in default with their contract after missing it completion date of January 10th, 2021. Subsequently, the authority has hired a legal firm to represent the authority in the bond claim. In conjunction, McKinnell, the architect representing the authority, was requested to provide additional professional services, document review, and additional information to the authority's legal team. Capital Improvements has reviewed the additional services request and find it to be in order. We recommend the motion to approve addendum number 3 to McKinnell, and Taylor in the amount of $4,500 for phase 3C exterior bond claim at 24/7 Caffrey Towers Comprehensive Modernization Project.
We need a motion and a second item.
So move.
Second,
Ernie Beecher, Janet. Motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat. Motion is to approve addendum number 3 to McKinnell and Taylor Incorporated in the amount of $4,500 for the exterior bond claim for the comprehensive modernization phase 3C at Caffrey Towers, project 24-7. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 18. Approval of amendment number 4, Architect Engineer Services Comprehensive Modernization Phase 3C, Caffrey Towers, Project 24-7. Exhibit O in your packet. Mr. Tebow.
If I could ask Mr. Barry to speak on this.
Thank you. Under McKinnell Taylor's contract in as amended, they are required to provide the asbestos monitor in that project as a reimbursable expense. They carried in their original contract 36 on-site visits. They have run out of the, we are still in need of additional 15 visits by the engineer. So this is a reimbursable, so basically what it is a 10% markup on the payment that they make to the abatement hygienist. Again, this would be a not to exceed amount of $14,825 for carrying 15 additional site visits. Capital improvement does find us to be in order. We would make a motion to approve the amendment number 4 to McKinnell and Taylor and a not to exceed amount of $14,825 for the phase 3 environmental reimbursement at 24/7 Caffrey Towers Comprehensive Modernization Project.
We need a motion and a second. Item 18.
second,
Was that you, Janet?
yes, yes,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion to approve amendment number 4 to McKinnell and Taylor Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $14,825.80 for the environmental reimbursement for the comprehensive modernization phase 3C at Caffrey Towers, project 24-7. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries. Unanimous. Approval of addendum number 5, Architect Engineer Services Comprehensive Modernization, Phase 3C, Caffrey Towers, Project 24-7, Exhibit P in the packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I can, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Barry, but if I could ask Mr. Barry just to explain why there's 15 in the first one and 6 here.
Obviously, the 15 is because of the size of the project.
But
we
we've
have-
got 2 phases, this is
Yeah.
2 different.
Yes, I'm sorry. Phase 3C was waterproofing, which carries 2 very large sections, and each riser is part of the environmental review. Under 3D, there's only 6 risers being done. We carried 6 in 3D. They're doubling the amount, they're taking twice as long. The way that they're doing it is requiring us to put, again, 6 more,
I just wanted to be clear, it's 2 separate
2 separate
agreements.
jobs.
that-
Complete
that are being-
different jobs.
Right, okay, thank you. If I can ask-
Contracts, everything. You do. Oh, okay. Again, McKinnell and Taylor, the original contract, they, for the 24/7 comprehensive model, phase 3D, which is the interior renovation, was carried only 6 on-site special ships. They have exceeded the amount of the special monitor and environmental reimbursement for the contract for phase 3D. We would recommend approving the not to exceed addendum number 5, McKinnell and Taylor, in the amount of $6,440.50 for phase 3D environmental reimbursement at 24/7 Caffrey Towers comprehensive modernization.
Okay, so this is for phase 3D,
Correct.
not the last one was
Three
phase
states,
3C.
unfortunately. This, I don't know if you recall, originally this was one project. 2 days before COVID hit, we had to split it, that's why it's so close to each other.
Did the interior,
Interior,
split the interior off, so we wouldn't go in during COVID,
correct,
kept doing the exterior.
correct, so with that 3C was,
And thus confused the whole thing, and that was COVID. So it is very confusing, that's why we're.
Motion and a second, item 19. From anybody?
so moved,
second,
Ernie jumped in there, Carol.
okay,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat. Motion is to approve addendum number 5 to McKinnell and Taylor Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $6,440.50 for the environmental reimbursable for the comprehensive modernization phase 3D at Caffrey Towers Project 24-7. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carried, unanimous. Item 20. Approval of change order number 2, comprehensive modernization phase 3C interior Caffrey Towers project 24-7. Exhibit Q in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Mr. Barry to speak on this, please.
again, due to a number of unforeseen conditions, including additional asbestos abatement for leak in waste pipes, additional blocking to accommodate reinstallation of the grab bars in the showers. They weren't in there when we removed the walls. And city electrical inspection safety requirements. And reorder of materials through the supply chain delivering issues. There's been a significant amount actually of additional work, dollars required here. But as we go back and forth, we would recommend to accept change order number 2 in the amount of $71,807 with 43 additional days of reconstruction. 219 Walnut Street, West Bridgewater, Mass. For comprehensive modernization phase 3D into interior at 24/7 Capitol.
We need a motion and a second, item 20.
So moved.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat. Motion is to approve change order number 2 in the amount of $71,807 with 43 additional days for the contract with Barica Construction Incorporated of West Bridgewater for the comprehensive modernization phase 3C interiors at Caffrey Towers project 24-7. Any questions or discussion on the motion?
Right, so it's on 3D.
Get a correction on that phase 3C, which is phase 3C. D.
Sorry, it's confusing, and it took me about 9 hours, I think, to write them all.
A correction on that, the phase 3 is 3D for interiors at Caffrey Towers, project 24-7. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 21, award of contract. General cleaning of Brockton Housing Authority's offices. Exhibit R in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I can have Mr. DeChristopher speak on this item, please.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow. This contract is for general cleaning of the BHA offices. On March 23rd, 2022, the Brockton Housing Authority advertised for one qualified cleaning member to clean BHA offices for work that cannot be performed by our county staff. This work was to be awarded to one responsible bidder that met the qualifications set in the bid packet. This is a 3-year contract, not to exceed $150,000 duration of the contract. On April 7th, 2022, submission deadline, we received 6 bids that represented the bid tally sheet. The low and responsive bidder was M&M Contract Cleaning, 756 Washington Street, Stoughton, Mass. Bids were received in Central Register, Combine, the Enterprise. 17 companies received bid packets and 6 bids were submitted. And they were Partner Solutions, 265 Franklin Street, Boston. Coastal Construction and Management, 37 Belmont Street, Brockton. 5-Star Pro Cleaning Corp., 44 Waldo Street, Brockton. G&S Cleaning Services, 863 Washington Street, Southeastern Mass. Crystal Cleaning Services LLC, 28 P-Rock Road, Marshfield, Mass. And M&M Contract Cleaning, 756 Washington Street, Stoughton, Mass. I recommend the motion be made to award the contract in the amount not to exceed $150,000 to M&M Contract Cleaning Incorporated, 756 Washington Street, Stoughton, Mass.
We need a motion, item 21.
So move.
The motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat. Motion is to award a 3-year contract in the amount not to exceed $150,000 to M&N Contract Cleaning Incorporated of Stoughton, Mass. for general cleaning services for the Brockton Housing Authority's offices. Just wanted to add that it is a little bit. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
yes,
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Pettifat.
Yes.
And Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carried. Unanimous. Item 22. Executive Director's Report, Exhibit S in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
So this has been a very, very busy time for the Brockton Housing Authority. Very exciting, nerve-wracking at times. We are moving forward with our search for a Director of Finance. Mr. Fluff and I will be interviewing 2 candidates this coming Monday. Hopefully, we will find someone who is up to the job. It's a very, very important job, as you know. The Moving to Work initiative, it's constant training for Mr. Fluff, for Bruna Campbell, for myself. In fact, there's a Moving to Work convention, online convention going on right now. It's the final session is right now, but very exciting for the Housing Authority, giving us a lot of flexibility to address some of the needs unique to the city of Brockton. Will help us out in Pello, and with what we do at all of our public housing sites and in our programs. We're on section 18, the Campello high rise project. We are now in feasibility. That's exciting. There's lots of challenges, as you know, especially you, Mr. Pettifat, being down in that part of the city. We are right on the river. We also have French Brook that comes down the other side, which is challenging. It might take the site that's this big and make the buildable site this big. So those are some challenges. At some time in the relatively near future, we would expect the architects to come in and start presenting things to the board. Obviously, if we stayed on that site and it was a real small site, that means you go taller. If we can use all of the site, that means that we can be more, 4 or 5 story buildings and that kind. So it's really opened up, and we, as you know, we're keeping the residents informed. If you look on our website, there is a Campello tab there, and it will show you there's some verbiage there in the newsletters that we're sending out to our residents. We are, and I think all board members know, come to the conclusion that it would be best for us to do new construction, that the Campello high rise needs so much work that it would be about the same cost to build new. And if you rehabilitate it, you get the same thing. You're in that box. They're 450 square feet foot apartments. We're looking to do apartments that are 550 square feet. They're not huge, but they're 25% bigger than what the people are living in now. So we're moving along with that. We got great news yesterday. We have an application to HUD for our energy performance contract. Thank you. So that should bring in another $3 to $4 million in capital money. We were very worried because we had sent it down a couple months ago and they had not assigned anybody to review it. They said they were short-staffed. If they are unable to review it and they go past July 7th, we lose our lock on financing, which is this fabulous rate of 2.7%. And it would cost us a lot of money. So we're pushing on that. It's really a burden on Mr. Barry. There must be 7 contracts in there. Seven different contracts that will be paid for with money from saving on water and electricity and gas. So it's exciting that they did assign someone, and this guy Neil Paradise, who contacted us yesterday and has reviewed it and will work with our vendor on that, Group 14. So overall, that's pretty good news. But it is lots of things are happening, and I'm excited about going through this spring and summer and fall and getting a lot done. The next year and the year after, God willing.
mhm,
I just wanted to add to the board, I was there for a little bit of it. I didn't stay the whole day. And I know you were there on Zoom, Carol. But every speaker, there was legal teams, there was construction people, there was managers of other buildings in Cambridge. None of our tenants are gonna be removed. It's only gonna be a one move, it's gonna move from the old building into the new. There's no relocation or it. I was really impressed with that. And I know a lot of people, we have over 400 units out there, 401,
398,
398.
398.
So a lot of the people were worried that they would have to move twice or three times, and it's gonna be a nightmare. But they come up with a way of fixing that, so the people are only gonna move once, they're gonna move into their new apartment. And as you know, Carol, we went to that Cambridge housing, the same, the type of work that's gonna be done here, and they look beautiful. Nice common areas. The people will be really impressed when it's done. You know, the mail room, the common areas, the patio, the verandas up the second floor, all kinds of stuff. It's gonna be nice. And I was really impressed with the way things were done. And especially you, Tom, and all the people from Cambridge that came aboard.
Yes, I was impressed with it's the first time we've used this technology, and Mr. Sheedy is looking to get it for the Brockton Housing Authority. But we had headsets where the people who spoke Portuguese, Cape Verdean, Creole, Haitian, Spanish, they would wear them. And as we did the meetings live, the people could hear in their language what was being said. So it's something that it was very, very instrumental in getting everybody involved.
As
Yes.
you know, Carol, there was a ton of questions and answers by residents that went on for a good 45 minutes at each location. And I felt that every question was answered and everybody was happy when I left. It was a good day.
An excellent meeting.
We need a motion, item 22, and a second.
So move.
second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion is to accept the Executive Director's report for April 28, 2022, and put on file. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
yes,
Commissioner Pettiford.
Yes.
And Mr. Sullivan,
Yes.
Commissioner Sullivan. Sorry.
Motion carries unanimous. Item 23, award of contract, general pleading, vacant Brockton Housing Authority unit, exhibit T in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Mr. Christopher to speak on this, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chief. Now, this contract is for general cleaning of vacant PHA units. On March 23rd, 2022, the Brockton Housing Authority advertised for 3 qualified cleaning vendors for cleaning of vacant PHA units for work that cannot be performed by town staff. This work is to be worked with 3 responsive and responsible bidders that meet the qualifications set in the bid packet. This is a 3-year contract not to exceed $150,000 for the duration of the contract. On April 7th, 2022, the submission deadline, we received 3 bids that reflected in the bid tally sheet. The low and responsive bidders were M&M Contract Cleaning, 756 Washington Street, Stoughton, Mass. 5-Star Pro Cleaning Group, 44 Walpole Street, Brockton, Mass. And GNS Cleaning, 863 Washington Street, Southeastern, Mass. The bids were advertised in Central Register, Combis, and the Enterprise. 15 companies received bid packs and 3 bids were submitted. And they were 5-Star Pro Cleaning of Brockton, GNS Cleaning Services of Southeastern Mass, and M&M Contract Cleaning of Stoughton, Mass. I recommend the motion be made to award the contract in the amount not to exceed $150,000 to M&M Contract Cleaning of Stoughton, GNS Cleaning of Southeastern Mass, and 5-Star Pro Cleaning of Brockton, Mass.
Just one thing. Are you proposing all 3?
Yeah, we need 3 vendors. We both locations.
So it'd be 150,000 for all 3, or?
Yes, right. It'll be each, the contract, no, it's 150,000 for the contract itself, so each vendor cannot exceed 50,000.
Okay.
The reason for the board that we need three is most of our vacancies come at the beginning of the month. And so we need people who can go into all of them at once, so that they don't sit waiting for, to get prepared.
What happened to, cleaning crew that we had here? They're gone now.
No, we've been using the cleaning crew for how many years? Probably 10 years.
Oh.
And it's that same thing is that we, again, we say, we get 20 vacancies on the first of the month. We don't, if we had 5 crews, you go into the first 5, 15 wait. So we need people who can move in and move as quickly as possible, not let them sit.
This is not the vacancy crew.
No, we still have a vacancy crew.
Still have a vacancy, this is just. Correct, I guess.
Okay. We need a motion, item 13. And a second from anybody.
So moved.
We already get in there on that. We need a second.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion is to award a 3-year contract in an amount not to exceed $150,000 to M&M Cleaning Company Incorporated of Stoughton, Mass., G&S Cleaning of Southeastern Mass., and 5-Star Pro Cleaning Corporation of Brockton, Mass., for general cleaning of vacant Brockton Housing Authority units. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carried unanimous. Item 26.
Go 24, go 24, 25. 20.
Oh. Item 24, old business. Any old business? Hearing none. Item 25, any new business? Hearing none. Item 26, executive session. Purpose number 2, to conduct a strategy session in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. We need a motion to go into executive session in a second. There's a motion that we're going to. In a second.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Ernest Pettifat, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts, to go into executive session. Roll call, Mr. Tebow.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Pettifat,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. I just wanted to announce that the board will go into executive session and will come out of the executive session only to adjourn. We have to close the doors and cut personnel matters.
If I could ask Linda and Owen,
In the corner.